Hi guys, welcome back to Graceful Beauty. My name is Sherry, and as promised, today I wanted to share with you my thoughts on the new IT Cosmetics CC Cream, the matte version, versus my normal go-to everyday foundation, the original formula of the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. So what I want to do today is just show you, I'm going to apply the matte to this side of my face, and I'm going to put the original on this side of my face, which that's what I have on right now. And I don't know about you guys, but I can't really tell that much of a difference right now. But I am going to apply it and give you guys my thoughts and tell you the differences between both of these, because I know a lot of people keep asking, well, why would I buy this if I already love this? Or if I hate this, why do I need this one? So let's take a look at how I applied both of these foundations to my face. And I'm also going to have the light turned on as it is now, but then I'm also going to turn the light off and just have the natural light from the window come in so that you guys can see up close the difference between each foundation. I've already applied all of my morning skincare, and my final step every single day in my skincare routine is to apply a sunscreen. Today I applied a Make Prem SPF 50 PA++++ sunscreen, and I will do a review on this, but I talk about this a little bit in a video that I have coming up in a few days. So first off, a couple differences that a lot of people are wondering about. The original formula, this is an SPF 50, and they're both all physical mineral sunscreens with zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, which is amazing. But this is an SPF 50, and this is an SPF 40. And just so that you know, it doesn't really even make a difference. You're not getting like a ton more protection with this one than you are with this one. It's only like, I don't know, like a 1% difference or something. Also, you may have seen one of my other videos, do not rely on your foundation. I only use about 1 pump to maybe 1.5 pumps of this CC cream on my face. And to get the proper amount of sunscreen, the proper protection from the damaging UVA rays, I had calculated I need, I think it was 10 pumps. So go look at my other video. If I put 10 pumps of this foundation on my face, it's pretty gross, and I doubt anybody wants to walk outside looking at that. I have a good half a teaspoon right now of my sunscreen on my face, neck, and chest, and you probably can't even tell because it just blends in so well. And the sunscreen I do have on is an all mineral sunscreen also. Another difference with the two of these, this one has the citrus oils in it, which I know a lot of people were sensitive to it. It doesn't bother me at all. You know, it does have a scent when you first put it on, but when it dries down, you don't smell it. But this one, they left out the citrus oils, and they also added some other ingredients like niacinamide and some clay, kaolin clay, to help it mattify a little bit better. And the reason this one is just a little bit less SPF, it's SPF 40, is because the mineral sunscreens that they do put in here, zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, the titanium dioxide usually gives more of a shine. So of course, to make this a mattifying version, they just reduce the titanium dioxide a little bit, so it helps so that it's not going to be as glowy as this one. Now they do both come in this size. This one just looks larger only because I get this off of QVC. It's the super size version, so this to me is a much better value if this is something that you're going to wear pretty regularly. You would have to buy almost 3 of these to equal this size, and this one's only, I don't know, 50 some bucks, and this one's 38. So this is really an amazing value to get the super size. I'm going to use a damp beauty sponge for the application on both sides, because after testing the matte formula and of course wearing the original formula for so many years, I realized that I don't enjoy using a brush to apply either one of them. Now some of my foundations I do like using a brush, but with these particular foundations I really enjoy using a damp blending sponge. I'm going to apply this matte version on this side of my face, and upon first squirting it out on my hand, you'll notice that this one is a bit thicker, and I'm not sure if you can really tell in the camera, but this one, the formula, the texture, it's just a thicker version, and of course because it's got that clay in it. The one thing that I don't like about this one that I love about the other one is this one is a little bit more difficult for me to blend out because of this thicker formula. So I feel like I take a little bit longer applying this by itself than I do with the original, and that's the reason why I love mixing them, because I'm getting the best of both of these foundations. I'm going to use my Sigma blending sponge, and I've already dampened this with a little water, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply it to my face. Now I do have a few little breakouts because I've been testing a bunch of skincare products, so my face is not happy right now. And I'm just gonna pat it on. Normally when I start patting on the original, it just starts blending really easily. I feel like with this one I need to use a little bit more pressure to make it blend. Now, of course, if you use a brush, it's gonna blend quite easily as well, but I feel like I get brush strokes no matter what brush I use when I apply this with a brush. So that is why I like to use a blending sponge, and it just gives you a little bit more of a flawless look. So this is how much is still left on my hand after just doing one pump. And you know, it's pretty much blended, but I can still see a lot of my hyperpigmentation and my blemishes peeking through. So I am going to use probably all of this. That's the other thing. I feel like with the original formula, I can do one pump and cover my entire face, sometimes 1 to 1.5 pumps. I feel like with this matte formula, I need to do 2 full pumps to cover my whole face. And I also put this all over my eyes. I get it in the corners here too to cover up any of the darkness. And it does give me a nice coverage. I like to go down my neck to blend it. So my sponge, you know, does soak up a bit of the product, but I've used up everything that's on the back of my hand, and I do feel like I need a little bit more to get enough coverage. So I'm just gonna do maybe another half of a pump. So normally I wouldn't have applied another half of a pump. What I would do is actually just use some of my Clé de Peau concealer and just dot it on some of the areas that need a little more coverage. But of course, we're not talking about my Clé de Peau concealer today. I want to show you what kind of coverage you can get with this foundation. And mind you, I added a little bit more, but I'm only adding enough to where my skin will still look like skin. I will almost never wear a foundation to where when you see me in person, it looks like I have a thick cake face layer of foundation on my skin. I feel like when you apply a bunch of makeup and foundation and concealer and powder to your face when you're trying to cover up a lot of those imperfections, I almost feel like it draws more attention to that. So I do like to try to keep more of a natural layer of foundation and then just spot conceal any areas that I'm concerned about. I don't know if you can tell, it still gives me a bit of a glow on my face, but it's not as shiny as what the original is going to look like on this side of my face. So if you are someone who says they would never wear a matte foundation, but maybe you think the original formula is still a little too shiny for you, you might really like this matte formula because it is not a full-on matte foundation. It still does give you a hint of a glow, but it's not as dewy as the original. On this side of my face, I am going to apply the original formula, and I'm going to use a different blending sponge just so that I'm not mixing the formulas on the other blending sponge that I use. This is my Real Techniques blending sponge. And I forgot to mention, on both sides of my face, I'm using the shade medium. So I'm going to apply one pump of the original formula to the back of my hand, and then this is what I'm going to work with on this side of my face. Look at how much is left on the back of my hand, if you can see this. But already, just with that small amount that I'm using, it's blending so well and I'm already getting great coverage. And then I just go down my neck. And one pump of the original on this side of my face is actually a little too much, so I'm really having to try to get my blending sponge to pick up some of that excess. So I don't know how it is for other people, but I feel like I need double the amount of the matte to get coverage and to get it to blend compared to what I need with the original. So on this side, I just applied the original, and I hope you can tell it gives a nice dewy glow. And on this side, I applied the matte, and I still have a bit of a glow, but it's not as dewy as this side. Now I am going to powder both sides down just a smidgy in my T-zone with the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores loose powder. But before I do that, I want to show you close up what this looks like, and then I'm going to turn off the lights, and I do have the windows open, and I'm just going to open the blinds a little bit better so you can see what this looks like in natural lighting. Okay, so here is what it looks like. I still have the ring light on, but you can see this side is nice and glowy, and I don't think it looks greasy, I just think it looks healthy. And then this side is the matte. I mean, it really doesn't look like there's a huge difference. And now I'm just gonna open the blinds and show you what it looks like without the ring light on. So I've turned off the ring light and I just have the blinds open. I have all of them open, but this one right here, because I'm gonna show you why. When I open it too much, I feel like it might be putting too much of a glare, but I'll still open it so that you can see what it looks like. So I feel like it just makes this side too much glare, and I want it to be an even distribution of the natural light. So you can see, I'm looking in my viewfinder, you can see this side is a little bit more dewy and this side still has a little glow, but this is not full on matte. So I just applied my IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores. This is the loose powder, and I just applied it to my T-zone. And honestly, I think both sides look pretty similar, but I'm gonna get a little bit closer and you guys can see what you think. So I've turned off my ring light again and just showing you the difference. This is the side with the original formula. Now mind you, I have not done any spot concealing to cover up any of the hyperpigmentation yet, but I'll do that here in a few when I apply my full face of makeup. And this is the matte side. So again, I still think this side is a little bit more glowy than this side, but I really like both of them. Honestly, as it sets throughout the day, I don't really notice a huge difference. Now this one does get a little bit more dewy, and I just sometimes have to use a blotting paper or my beauty blender, the Blotterazzi I think is what it's called, but I still have to when I use the matte formula also. So for me, I like to apply my makeup pretty quickly. Of course my husband wouldn't think that. What takes me forever is applying my layers of sunscreen and letting that dry, but I like to mix them both because they just blend so much easier, and when I mix them both, I kind of get the best of both formulas, so I don't have to powder my face as much throughout the day as I would with only wearing the original. So I'm just gonna finish the rest of my makeup and I'll come right back with my final thoughts. I finished the rest of my makeup and I just want to give you my final thoughts on the new IT Cosmetics CC Matte versus the IT Cosmetics Original CC Cream. So, you know, I don't know if you can really tell, but again, this side has the original and this side has the matte version. After I've finished the rest of my makeup, I think both sides look pretty identical. This side is just a little bit more dewy, but you know, once I put a little of the Bye Bye Pores loose powder, they just kind of look very similar to me. Now, I have done this quite a few times to see the way they wear throughout the day, and again, they wear very similar, except maybe I might have to blot this side one extra time versus this side, but the way I really enjoy wearing these is mixed. To be quite honest, if you already absolutely love the original formula the way I do, honestly, I don't think you really need this matte version in your life. Now, if you hate this one and you love the coverage and you love everything about it, but you just feel like it's a little too dewy for your skin, or maybe you get a little too oily with it, then you might want to consider this one. But again, this, even though it says it's matte, it is not a full-on flat matte. I still get a very nice glow after I apply this. This one is just a little more dewy. In my honest opinion, I think this one is so much easier to apply, but that's why I like mixing them, because I'm getting the best of both of these, and instead of it being super dewy on this side, and instead of me having to powder one extra time throughout the day or blot, which I only have to do that a couple times anyways, no matter what foundation I'm wearing. So while I absolutely love this new version, even though I have really oily skin, hyperpigmentation, acne scarring, I like this one better, and the number one reason is because I can put it on so much quicker because it blends so much better. But I have so many other foundations that are matte or, you know, a little bit more mattifying, and so all I do on the days where I don't want to be as glowy, I just mix like a half a pump of, say, my Estee Lauder Double Wear with this, or my Jouer foundation. So if you have a bunch of foundations that maybe you don't like by themselves and you don't want them to go to waste, start playing around. You know, I'm a mad scientist when it comes to my makeup. I don't want things to go to waste, so I do like to mix things and see how they work for my skin. So if you love the original, or if you love the new matte, click the like button and let me know what you guys like about either of these, or if you like mixing them, or maybe you like mixing these with a different foundation. I love hearing from you guys, and I love learning different tips and tricks from you guys. If you're not already subscribed to my channel but you would like to be, just click the subscribe button, and if you want to get notified each time I do post a new video, make sure you tap that little bell, otherwise you probably won't know when I do upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great day.